This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Next up, it's the main event. John Cena is going to make his SmackDown debut against Kurt Angle. Of course, Angle won the match. Now here we are 3 years later, and Cena is beginning his epic run on top of the company. He had won the WWE title from JBL at WrestleMania. It goes Hollywood. He finished that program up at Judgment Day. In June, he gets drafted over to Raw and a huge pop. The Raw only pay-per-view in June is Vengeance, and Cena wins a triple threat against Chris Jericho and Christian. On August 21st, he would beat Jericho at SummerSlam to retain. And then he beat him in a loser gets fired match. So Jericho's out of here, but tonight he's going to face his toughest challenge yet. Kurt Angle, the wrestling machine. No more comedy. He's even wearing a mouth guard here. And JR says he lost some teeth against Cena recently. This is all business. JR reminds us he's the only Olympic gold medalist in WWE history. And, of course he won it with a broken freaking neck. Ultimately, Kurt Angle defeats John Cena by DQ here, 17 minutes and 15 seconds, when Mike Chioda stops the match after seeing Cena hit his challenger in the face with a title belt. Let's talk about the match. Cena's super over here. Fans are mostly behind him. They're sharing pretty equal offense at first, with Cena getting the upper hand and Angle leaving the ring in frustration. Cena will continue to control the match and look strong. And there's an interesting moment on commentary. JR says Kurt Angle's body scissors is so powerful that he could break open bags of corn or feed. And Coach says, who can relate to that? And calls JR a hayseed. JR gets hot and the two bicker back and forth while Lawler's trying to keep the peace. How great is red ass JR on commentary or in real life?
Well, again, JR would sell. So a lot of times it was just, you talk about his Sooners and you talk about, hillbilly boy, like Steve Austin used to call him. And hey, is what it is. And JR's a passionate human being that, sometimes takes some things more seriously than he probably should.
Around the time, you're just looking to get a text, aren't you?
Why? For sassafras?
I don't know.
Well, Bruce, I don't understand sassafras. I don't think I've ever said sassafras. Well, what the hell is that all about?
He did ask me that.
He asked me that.
And what'd you say?
I said, it's just if you were to make a sound. It's like Michael Hayes and dude. Just, JR looks like he would just get frustrated. Oh, sassafras. So got Yosemite Sam. Didn't Yosemite Sam just say sassafras?
You know, what's bad is he asked me, he said, are you and Bruce doing that to make fun of my disability? And I'm like, oh my God, no. What? No. What are you talking about? Yeah.
No, making fun of his goddamn accent. He had that for his disability. People make fun of my goddamn accent. Of course, Conrad, you don't have one.
No, thank you.
Check me up.
I know I don't have an accent. Thank you.
Okay. Speaking of hillbillies. Anyway.
Around the same time Cena gets his you can't see me spot, the boos are starting to build. Angle's getting more and more cheers, then the dreaded ref bump. Cena hits the FU, but Mike Chioda's knocked out, wouldn't you know it? Angle's going to use his gold medal as a weapon. He's going to clinch in the ankle lock. Bischoff comes out and he's taunting Cena, maybe even giving him more motivation to escape. Cena finally gets free, grabs his belt to smash Angle, and the referee sees it, and we get a DQ finish as a reward for spending $50 on the pay-per-view. 3.5 stars. Bischoff's going to go off on Cena on the mic. Cena interrupts him with an FU, and then Angle attacks him from behind. They battle to the table. Cena's going to counter the Angle slam, hitting the FU through the table, and Cena leaves by first celebrating in the ring with the title, and the show's over. I gotta say, man, it's pretty, lackluster finish. I enjoyed the match and I enjoyed the post match with the big table bump, but I think on pay-per-view, I would have liked to have seen a clean finish. What say you?
Oh, God damn. It's soap opera. I thought that the match was, wasn't great. It was the emergence of Cena. This is where Cena was finally, really, man, his shoes were starting to fit. And John had that confidence now in working with Kurt. I think it's impossible to have a bad match, so that helps as well. But I thought it was good. It told a story. And the story of, Kurt being right there and the DQ, what have you, it just was a fuck you to Bischoff and the Authority. So for me, it worked. I thought it was a good finish. I thought it was a good match. And I think I called you when I finished it or texted you or whatever it was. I was like, God damn, this was an enjoyable show.
Yes, it was.
This was good 15 years later.
No argument for me. I dug it. Would overall thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle? You're going thumbs up? Let's talk about Michelle McCool. While training in Deep South, she's going to be put in the hospital for a week, according to the Observer. And allegedly this is due to a bad reaction from ibuprofen. I never heard of this. What do you remember about Michelle McCool having a little bit of a health scare here?
God, I have no idea. I really don't. But it actually, dude, a bad reaction to ibuprofen is one of the worst things that you ever want to have, because, and I say that from actual experience, because my wife had a reaction during some of her treatment. And the problem with that is that there's so much medication, so many other things. Everybody immediately would go to ibuprofen. And it's, it sucks. But other than that, that's about all the insight I can give you. I'm hiccuping because I drank that drink too fast.
Okay. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.